We are back again today with another Erik Ten Hag tactic, and this is the tactic that I believe Ten Hag will be using for the 23-24 season based on the signings we are looking to make this summer. What's going on there, guys? Kempy here, and welcome back to another video from myself. And today's video is a bit of a fantasy video, but one that I think is actually quite realistic based on the signings and targets that Ten Hag is interested in for the 23-24 season. Now, we've all heard the rumours of Mason Mount, Kim Min-jae, Diogo Costa, Rasmus Højlund, Harry Kane. Well, I have moved a few of them, to say the least, to Manchester United for this up and coming simulation, just to show you the players we have brought in. It has been Diogo Costa brought in goal, Mason Mount has brought in midfield, Højlund up front, Kim Min-jae at the back, Rabiot as a backup in centre mid. And I didn't sign Harry Kane because I think if you put all them in one team with Harry Kane, you probably absolutely walk the league. And to be honest, we've done very, very well in the league anyway. Also winning the FA Cup in just a straight up simulation. We level on points with Manchester City, but on the final day, we pipped them to the post as City, I believe, actually lost, as we won 5-0 against Nottingham Forest. Man City drew 1-1 with Fulham and bottled it. And we had our very own Aguero moment, a 5-0 victory, absolutely storming it. Thank God we got a little bit of payback. And in fact, in today's video, there is going to be some payback because we're going to go now and watch an 8-0 victory against Manchester City. Before we delve into this game, if you guys can, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel as well, and follow on all these 4 wonderful things: Twitch, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, second channel, and also, if you can, support on Patreon. Any support you do is helping me make this dream a reality, and we're eventually going to turn this into a career. So your support you're giving now is only going into sort of upgrading my setup and upgrading the level of these videos. So a massive thank you to every single one of you that is able to do that. Massive thank you to Brandon and Scott. If there has been any over the weekend, I'm recording this on the Friday as I start a brand new job on Monday, the day this comes out. So a little bit of preparation going in, as obviously we do make 7 videos a week, and I'm having to get a little bit prepared because the first couple of weeks might be a little bit mental. But we are here today, like I said, to watch an absolute battering of Manchester City, and Kim Min-jae opens the scoring, a corner, well, a free kick, a header going in. We've got an overlapping wing back over Tyrell Benatia on the left hand side today, finding Mason Mount, who finds Anthony, and he puts it in. 13 minutes in already. Manchester City, no one cares about your treble because, let's be honest, I'm obviously recording this early, they've probably won the treble, haven't they? And if we're watching this and they've not and they bottled it, well, you know, come on, up the boys, up into Milan. I bet it was a Lukaku hat-trick. Absolute legend. Kim Min-jae again getting on his big head for 4th goal. Number 5 is Wan-Bissaka a throw when he finds Anthony. Anthony back to Wan-Bissaka. He's going to beat his man. Find Anthony again on that left foot. Cross it in to Marcus Rashford, who taps this one home. Rashford finds Benatia again, cuts it back into Fred, into Bruno Fernandes, again into Fred. Ericsson on the ball, finds Rashford in behind, and it's 6. And it's at this point just laughable. That Liverpool result of last year, completely forgotten about. Bruno Fernandes whips it in again. This time it's cleared out. Fred gets the ball, and who's going to score for us? Viva Garnacho gets the 7, and guess who's going to get number 8? It's Benatia on the ball. He finds Fred. Fred finds Bruno. Martial holds his off his man, finds Viva Garnacho to stick 2 past Manchester City in an 8-0 drubbing. And I imagine quite a lot of people watching this are United fans, and I hope you got as much enjoyment out of that as I did. A hat-trick from Rashford, a brace from Viva Garnacho. And the tactic itself, I think, is actually quite realistic based on what we are going to be using next season. I've got a 2.66 goals per game, 0.79 conceded per game. And in the Premier League, the individual team stats, we scored the most goals of 101. We were 5 behind West Ham with a storming season in conceded, but still only 30 goals over the whole season. Fewest shots conceded, most goals scored, and we were 6th on possession on 56%. And you're wondering, what is the formation? Well, it's a 4-3-3, and I've done research into how Ten Hag played with Ajax when he eventually moved from that 4-2-3-1 system to the progressive 4-3-3 with the 2 number 8s. And obviously, the signing of Mason Mount sort of points towards that, and I think that's what we're going to be playing next season. In goal is a sweeper keeper on support with tackle harder. Again, I think Costa is going to be brought in this summer. I think it's time to move away from De Gea. I think the FA Cup final showed that more than ever with his ability to pass out from the back. And there are reports, as I watch this, record this today, that we're close to agreeing a deal with Costa. So I brought Costa in. A wing back on support on the right with stay wider. And on the left, it's stay wider and dribble more. We want the left-hand side to overlap the inside forward on attack on the left. Ball playing defenders, both at the centre back, both will stay wider. And anchor man in midfield, that's going to be Casemiro. You know, he has been fantastic this season, but maybe as, you know, time goes on, he'll just drop again back into sort of what it was like at Madrid as a single pivot number 6. He is the best in the world at it, and I think we'll move back to that next year rather than being in sort of a double pivot. Box-to-box midfielder on support on the left, that's the Mason Mount role. I've got shoot less often, get further forward, move into channels, and tackle harder. And the Mezzala on attack is the Bruno Fernandes, dribble more and tackle harder. Inverted winger on support on the right, roam from position and tackle harder. And then inside forward on attack with shoot more often, roam from position and tackle harder. With Rasmus Højlund as the advanced forward on attack up front with take fewer risks, roam from position and tackle harder. Now in terms of the signings and how they done, Højlund got 34 goals and 6 assists. Mason Mount with 13 goals, 8 assists. Kim Min-jae with 6 goals and 1 assist. Obviously that Man City game, he scored 2, so you probably thought the corner tactic was way too overpowered. Not the case, he just decided to have a good game. Adrian Rabiot, I can see us bringing in this season as a backup centre midfielder. He got 2 goals and 9 assists to cover off Casemiro leaving the club. We've also signed Diego Costa, who got a 7.07, conceding just 49 goals in 59 appearances. Now, I obviously allowed other teams to make transfers as well. Otherwise, we obviously would have stormed the league. I'm not sure if we can see anyone in the Premier League, if anyone stepped up to the plate. Not really, no, but you know, we move on. Transfers were enabled, we made ours, and that is who we brought in. I have also done this sim with a couple of other teams. Let me show you them results now. So we decided to test with Ten Hag's old boys Ajax, and we revived Ajax back to the top of the league. And what I did with this this simulation is I didn't do the transfers myself. I let the game do the transfers. I set the assistant manager to be in charge. So Kudus ended up leaving in January for 56 million. We still ended up winning the league. Obviously a lot of signings coming in here. We're not going to go through them all, but the most important thing is that we won the league. A 78 goal difference, 85 points. We absolutely smashed it this season. Sadly, in the Conference League, it was like the very start of it. We got knocked out in the qualifiers for Trabzonspor, which is a bit annoying. And the Becker, we lost to Heerenveen. Again, a little bit annoying. We'd have liked to have done much better in them. Obviously, goals, a lot of them, I'm guessing, were scored by Mohamed Kudus, as he was the striker as we started this simulation. He got 9 goals and 2 assists at the start. And then Berghaus with 25 and 8. Tadic with 20 and 23. Brian Brobby with 12 off the bench. Alamis Ali is, I believe, a signing they've made. 11 goals. He is from Al Dawali, Qatari international. So very cool to see him getting some goals. Steven Bergwijn with 9 goals, 11 assists as well. And then we tested with an absolute powerhouse in PSG. We won everything but come runners up in the Champions League. Sadly losing the final 1-0 to AC Milan is an absolute stinker. But 87 goal difference, dominating the league as you would expect. 107 goals scored, 20 goals conceded, 59% possession, fewest shots against, most shots for, most dribbles made. We pretty much absolutely destroyed this, and I'm pretty sure I even moved Messi to Inter Miami to make it even more realistic for next season. I did indeed. So it was Mbappe with 38 goals and 12 assists, Neymar with 28 goals and 18 assists. They brought in Ansu Fati on loan with 17 and 4, Verratti with 12 and 17, Yannick Carrasco with 12 and 14, Icardi with 11 and 3, Fabian 7 and 10. And again, in terms of the data hub, just over 3 goals per game and 0.59 conceded per game. And this tactic was made to be as realistic as possible, as I can see us with next season with the signings that Ten Hag will be making, and I hope you guys agree with what I have made. Let me know as well on these signings. Obviously decided to sign Costa, Kim Min-jae, Rabiot, Mount and Højlund. What would you rate that window out of 10? For me, that is a solid 8 out of 10. If we can somehow get Harry Kane as well, it's a 10 out of 10. What an absolute window, and we'll be challenging next season with this very good 4-3-3. Thank you for watching the video. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll speak to you next time.